For this final piece here, we're going to end up on the last couple pages of the application, and of all the pages, it's probably the most simple to fill out, but there are a couple key things to make sure that you do properly in order to qualify. We'll start with the Community Service tab right after page 11 there, and this was an add-on a couple years ago with the additional requirements for community service to earn the varying levels of degrees from chapter to state to American. And on this page lists the community service activities you're involved with. You have to have at least 2 activities listed, and the total hours must be 25. And so we'll just enter those in with a brief description of what we did and how many hours we spent doing that, and make sure we qualify on our hours. And so we should have a total of 32. It's not double checking this for you. You just need to have that in there. A key thing, anything you list on the community service page may not be listed on page 12. And page 12 will be our last one. I've got some old information in there. We'll get that out for a second. And there's a couple things that it says on here, and then there's a couple things we need to make sure we do properly. First thing is that for the Oregon FFA state degree, in the leadership activities involves all FFA activities, and you have to have a total of 30 years of activities. Okay, well, what does 30 years of activities mean, and how does that add up? Here's the proper way to enter it. Let's say you've done the MEETS evaluation, CDE, multiple times, and you competed in 2012 and 2013 at the district level, and you competed in state in 2013. The proper way to list that is just how we've done it, 12,13 for 2012, 2013, and then state for 13. As well, to make it to the district level, you had to qualify from your chapter in order to be on that team. And so we would list 12 and 13 there as well, assuming that you had activity at the chapter level. If you didn't, then you wouldn't list that. So in this case, for our MEETS CDE, we've now listed 5 activities, or 5 years of activities. For other things like state convention, there is no chapter, there is no district, there's just state. And let's say we've been there in 2011, we attended in 2012, and we were there in Corvallis in 2013. That would be 3 years of activities. And you would continue on through this page. If you have national level events, then you would do that. A couple things that must show up on this list. You must list an FFA office or an FFA committee that's listed in your program of activities. And some of these things are identified over on the side here that you need to have. There's examples of things you can list. The state degree requirements is that you've done a committee or you've been in office. As well, you need to have demonstrated parliamentary procedure, so you should list parliamentary procedure. Kind of a convention. It's not so much a rule, but it's a way to demonstrate that, and then the year that you did that, even if you didn't go beyond the chapter level, a team can only be 6, and you could have participated at the chapter level but not the district level. As well, you should list public speaking. There's a requirement to have given a 6-minute speech in order to receive your state degree. And even if you didn't compete at the district level or above, if you did that, and you should have in order to qualify, that needs to be listed at the chapter level. And then you'd continue on and make sure that when you're done, we can count up a total of 30 different years of activities up here. And of course, they have to have happened within 5 different types of activities. And that should be really straightforward. And we'll list that we did banquet in 2013. As soon as I have 5, the error goes away. Down below, for the school and community activities, you have to have 3 different activities listed. You have to have a total of 10 years listed here. So let's say I was a 4-H member for 3 years. I would list that. And these are only the years of your SAE and FFA experience. I can't list back to being in the 4th grade. Now, let's say I've also played baseball in 2 years. And let's say I was in church youth group. And so far I'm up to 8, and I would need 2 more in order to qualify. Again, I can't list anything here that I listed on community service. It needs to be a different list of activities for page 12. Page 12 is just a matter of making sure you get all of these things entered. When you get to page 13, this is the checklist. Page 13 is for the American degree, so there's no point looking at that one. Go ahead and jump straight to Oregon, page 13. Now it's the time to check, and this is where your job is to make sure there are no errors in any of these boxes. In this case here, you see we've got lots of METs, and we've got 2 errors. And then the first one says candidate has been an active FFA member for at least the past 24 months. See Oregon cover B, line 20. You can solve these problems yourself. Go straight to Oregon cover B, line 20. And right there, oh, we didn't fill that response in yet. It is a yes. Let's go back to the error page. And we've met now. Have we paid, number 2, so we have an error. It says, have you paid your state national dues? Well, obviously that's a requirement. We go to Oregon, it says Oregon cover B, line 22. Let's go to Oregon cover B, number 22. We didn't respond, but we can't type there. It says put the response on cover B. And so it's a little bit of a scavenger hunt sometimes, and making sure that you got all these things checked, but if you just follow the directions, it tells you where to go pretty easily. And we'll go back, and now we've got METs on everything else. The only thing now that we don't qualify for, or may not, is these yeses or nos, and it's your local advisor's job to check these off, and the district officer will do that as well, and will demonstrate that you've done those things, such as being on a chapter office or major committee, participating in the activities on page 12, perform the 10 parliamentary procedures, so on and so forth. That concludes these clips on filling out the Oregon FFA state degree application. It's a great idea to chunk them out and go through each section at a time, and when you're completely done, then double check if there's any errors and seek help if you can't solve the problem. Good luck.